Happy Camper Radio with Skip Huber.
It's that time again, time for another edition of the Happy Camper Radio Show, the only place to be when you're ready to talk camping. Camping is what we're about. Camping is all we talk about. It is episode 200. 200 episodes of the Happy Camper Radio Show. We're kicking it off today, and I'm so very excited about it. Daniel's here in the studio, and we have got a lot to talk about. I think you're going to enjoy today's show, so I want you to hang around for it. Episode 200 of the Happy Camper Radio is about coming in your ear.
Happy Camper Radio. Happy Camper Radio.
And, of course, the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners just like yourself. You can find us in the iTunes Store and Podbean, MyroGuide, Stitcher, the BlackBerry Podcast Directory, iHeartRadio, Google Play Music, and now on Spotify. Tell all your friends to tune in to Happy Camper Radio today. You can find us online anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have anything you'd like to talk about in the line of camping, hey, Daniel and I would love to have you on the show. Get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, and we'll make that happen. And, of course, for 200 episodes, guess who we have in the studio today?
Daniel Pitts.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Oh, that's my name. Oh.
Yeah, Daniel.
Ooh, I
hey,
almost forgot.
You know, how did we get this far? I mean, with our schedules, the way things are, you working, I'm working, totally opposite shifts.
Right. Oh, yeah.
We struggle sometimes.
We literally see each other leaving. Like, you're pulling into your driveway, I go to work, literally. Actually, when I leave and I see you, I think to myself, oh, gosh, I'm late. I'm late for work.
Yeah, because I'm getting home right about that time that you should be clocking on in.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
But I work so close, it's like, I'm telling you, the closer you work, the more you're going to be late because you leave no time to get there. Like, it takes 5 minutes to get there. And, you know, if I miss one light, then I'm 5 minutes late.
and if we did not have sleep schedules, we'd be living in this studio.
Yeah, definitely.
But, you know, I'm thinking back, Daniel, of all the times, all of the shows that we have done over the years, and I'm just trying to figure out where on earth did we ever find the time to squeeze it in.
Here
You
and there.
have been literally part of the Happy Camper Radio Show since its introduction back
Yeah.
in 2013.
Yep.
I can remember the very first piece of equipment that we bought was this console desk.
Mm-hmm.
And what a monstrous thing this was. And, of course, you know, you being a postal carrier and are used to lifting heavy things, especially around Christmas time.
Right.
This was nothing to you, but it was a struggle for somebody at my age to actually get this thing up the steps
Yeah.
and get it all put together.
I remember that.
Yeah, and the studio has actually moved twice, you know, from one room to the next into its permanent position where it's at right now.
Yep.
But it has grown so much over the years, and you know, it took a first maybe 2 or 3 episodes before I was able to afford a microphone for you.
Yeah.
And actually
Yeah.
get you on the program. You were sitting in a camping chair.
I remember that.
Yeah, next to my bed. Okay,
Yep. You were in your bedroom in the corner.
and this is where
And
it
it
all
was so
started.
echoey, and
And
you
yeah,
were
and
like,
you had
I
to-
can't have that.
Yeah, you couldn't have that. You were more echoey than I were.
Yeah.
Because you know, you were just facing out in the open. You had to bring your quilt.
Oh,
over here
yeah.
to the car.
Yeah. I remember. You know, I love my quilts.
Yes, And you still bring them today when you go camping, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of camping, we've got some exciting news to share with our listeners because in a couple of weeks, you and I are going to be out there in the field.
Yeah.
And we are going to be camping in, actually, where it's Barrow County, Georgia,
Yep.
in the city of Winder, a place called Fort Yargo State Park.
Yep.
And that is going to be, let me see what my calendar is here, Daniel. I think it's going to be the 17th and 18th of July.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, all right. And it's going to be a 2-day camping trip. We're actually going to be up there Friday and leaving back Sunday. And knock on wood, hey, man, they gave me the day off on
There you
Thursday.
go.
So I get to prepare all my things and everything, go out and do the grocery shopping, and wake up bright and early Friday
so 19th
morning.
and 20th.
The 19th and 20th, all right? So any of our listeners here in the Metro Atlanta area, or if you're in Georgia and you'd like to come join us, make your reservations at Fort Yargo State Park. Daniel and I are not going to be very hard to find.
Well, I'll be running around. You could probably find Skip, but there's a lot of stuff to do out there. There's a beach. There's I think there's kayaks, there's a disc golf course, there's trails. So, I have a hard time standing still. But you'll find Skip, and he'll just give me a call.
Yeah, Skip will be relaxed. You won't
Yep.
find him very far by the campfire. Okay, I mean, I'm going to be very close by. There's not going to be a problem locating me. Just look for the guy with a beer gut, and he's sitting in his recliner. But within those few days that we're going to be there, Daniel, we're going to be doing a show from up there.
Woohoo!
Yeah, okay, and I'm really excited about that, too. If you happen to catch the episode that we did, the last one, when my brother, my cousin, and I, we were up in, I want to say Mayberry, but it's Mount Airy, North Carolina, where we went up there and toured the hometown of Andy Griffith. We actually shot a video of that episode. We were outdoors. This was about 2 hours before the rain moved in. Daniel, I'm giving up on this rain.
Well,
I really am.
Lately, it's the heat. Like, if it keeps up like it is, I mean, this is what a summer in Georgia is supposed to feel like. I mean, oppressive heat during the day, then awesome at night. So hopefully this it'll stay dry during the time that we're out there.
Daniel, I can tolerate the heat.
Mm-hmm.
The heat is not a problem.
Right.
It's just the rain.
Mm-hmm.
The rain moves in. Fortunately for us, when it did rain, it was right after we got done eating, right after we started sitting down and relaxing. And fortunately, we didn't get a campfire going because, it would have gone washed out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But the rain did hold off enough for us to climb inside our tents. And I've got to say this about the Coleman Instant Tent that I have, Daniel.
Uh-huh.
After getting the right rain fly for it,
Okay.
and I could not figure this out for the life of me. It's an 8-sleeper tent, but it required a 10-sleeper rain fly, which is sold
Wow.
separately. And I bought the 8-sleeper. It didn't fit, so I mean, I've got to put that on eBay and get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
I went ahead and got the 10-sleeper rain fly. Fits on there perfectly. I climbed in that tent, Daniel, for as much as it was raining cats and dogs.
Mm-hmm.
It was bone dry in there.
Cool. Oh yeah, you didn't tell our audience that I'm not going to bring my pop-up. I'm tenting it like you. We're going to be on the same spot together.
Are you feeling well?
Hey, I got a tent. I got a nice tent.
You've got a nice tent.
Hey,
Yeah, but
that's what you got to use when you go backpacking, hiking. So if I'm going backpacking, I'm going to use a tent. So
when did you last break it out? 1984?
No, actually, we broke it out when we went up to Trail Days up in Damascus, Virginia. We camped in the back of a hostel's backyard, and yeah, we set it up there. But it's just for sleeping, that's for sure.
I didn't even think about that because you keep that camper in a garage, and your garage door
Yep.
is closed.
Yep.
And
I love that.
I'm not like Mrs. Kravitz. I don't go peeking into windows. I didn't know that your camper was in there. But
Yep.
Okay, so you are an experienced primitive camper.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you-
I
you
was in Boy Scouts,
Okay.
so I've done the tent. I just I like pop-ups.
Yeah, we're actually going to have to take some time to prepare a menu within the next couple
Oh,
of weeks
boy.
and figure out. And with your appetite, I mean, I better open up my wallet. I'm half broke
Oh,
all the
boy.
time anyway.
Here
So
we
I mean,
go.
here we are. We'll get to the grocery store and we'll get whatever grub we need.
There you go.
To enjoy the next few days. I have still got to get back there in my shed where I keep all of my camping gear. Very organized too.
Very.
All right,
Definitely.
And I just got to prepare to load up and get ready to head down the road. I'm probably not going to take that much stuff, but
Mhm.
I am going to allow room to bring the video camera so we
Yep.
can actually film us doing an episode like my brother, cousin, and I did in Mount Airy, North Carolina. That was a great show.
Mhm.
We had a terrific time up there. And Daniel, if you and your wife ever happen to get into Mount Airy, you're going to enjoy that. The folks at the campground we stayed at up there, those people were wonderful. The hospitality was just fantastic. And like I said, outside the couple nights of rain, we otherwise had a pretty good time.
I think that's how campsites are in general. I mean, I know we actually this show has a lot of campsite friends that have kept in touch with us and stuff, and that I think that's just how campsite people are, and people that love the outdoors. That's just the kind of people they are. The more you're outdoors, the better of a person you are. The happier of a person you are.
Well, speaking of friends, Daniel, one very close friend of ours wanted to check in and give us a shout out for our 200th episode.
Okay.
Hello, happy campers. Green Giant here. I wanted to call and congratulate Skip on 200 episodes of the show. I also want to congratulate the listeners on 200 episodes of the show. It takes more than just one guy and a microphone to keep this thing going, and you guys are what makes this thing special. Well, Skip kind of makes it special too, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Hey, Skip, when I was hiking the Appalachian Trail a few years ago, listening to your show was one of my favorite things to do to pass time on the trail. That and, look at birds and waterfalls and neat things like that. But having Happy Camper Radio in my ears on the trail was a really great morale boost for me back in the day, even though at the time I think there were only like 3 episodes. But nevertheless, love the show. Keep up the great work. And here's to 200 more. Congratulations and happy trails.
Daniel, I'll tell you what. Gary, thank you so very much. I appreciate you, buddy, checking in. And Gary has turned out to be a wonderful friend for Daniel and I. And I wish I had the time to actually spend with him like you do, Daniel.
Yeah.
I don't have a government salary and I don't have a government vacation schedule. But Gary has been a really, really inspirational part of this program too.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, taking his first phone call. I'm like, wow, who is this guy? And and I really wasn't too familiar with the Appalachian Trail back then.
Yeah.
So it was great having him on. I think I've saved every one of his soundtracks, every one of his phone calls that he made. And I'm saying to myself, is he actually going to hike all those miles and make it up there? But I had no idea he was already an experienced camper.
Oh yeah, he's been backpacking for years and years before that. I mean, he was in the Marines, and that's kind of the thing that got him, into it. Weirdly enough.
Oh, them Marine drill sergeants aren't going to let you sit still.
He used to be one too.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he used to do that a little bit. He was a little
can't
gung ho
see
for a
that
little
in
bit.
him.
Yeah, he's got the hat just like you. I don't know if he still has it, but he's got the drill sergeant hat just like you do.
The old Smokey the Bear hat,
There
like
you
the
go.
one I used to wear when I was
right.
in law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, but hey, Gary, thank you so very much for calling the show, and thank you for thinking about Daniel and I on our 200th episode. And Daniel and I are just kicking back. We're just throwing it back and forth today. Nothing very special. Hey, Daniel, before I forget, we have got some shout-outs here.
Yeah.
We've got to say hello to a bunch of folks who have been, liking us on social media, and I want to take some time to recognize them. First of all, let's say hello to Liz Buzzard of East Liverpool, Ohio, Teresa Stovall of Mocksville, North Carolina, Douglas Lloyd of Tetchy, North Carolina, to Louis Laporte, Bill Newhouse, Brad Lucas. They all like us on Facebook. Chris Lang of Orange County, California, Jamie Kathleen, Matt Ryan of Illinois, and to the fine folks at Russo Outdoor Depot. They follow us on Twitter. And finally, to Rustic Trail Overland LLC, who has subscribed to our YouTube channel. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Glad to have each and every one of you on board. And more importantly, thank you for being a part of this great Happy Camper Radio family. Daniel, we have the 4th of July coming up here in just a day or two, and I'm sure we have some of our listeners who are eager to get out there and enjoy the festivities and everything that goes on with the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
The neat thing about this is, well, it's not so neat because they wouldn't give me the 4th of July off.
What?
Even though I put in for it for the first part of the year, it just works out that way.
Wow.
I'm not going to complain because they did give me some time off for our trip coming up here in a couple weeks. So, it balances out. So don't ever take it out on the boss. But, this past couple of days, I'm thinking about here, wow, there are some things that I think are very important to talk about when it comes to the 4th of July and all the festivities and everything that goes on with it. Are you going to see any firework displays, Dan, or are you just getting too old for that?
No, I don't know. We might. I don't know. I mean, when I was a kid, I don't know how many people know about this area, but when I was a kid, I used to work at the there's a Stone Mountain where Skip always likes to camp. I used to work there as a teenager, and I would work at the laser lawn, and it was mandatory 4th of July because there's so many people in there that they shut down the park. And what we used to do is we would work in the little booths that sold the popcorn and the candy and and the pretzels and stuff. And so what we would do is we would shut down when the laser show started, because they have a big laser show lawn. And when the laser show started, we would close down, clean up. And then after we cleaned up on the 4th of July, like I'd say about 3 or 4 of us got on top of the roof, and we got to see the fireworks at Stone Mountain. We got the best view in the park, and that was a really memorable time watching fireworks. But yeah, I like fireworks. I mean, I think they're really cool. We just, last time I saw fireworks, we went to a Braves game a couple of weeks ago with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, Deidre's sister, and we saw fireworks after the Braves game. And it's really cool. It's really nice. I like it. It's cool.
I would be surprised if they let any of their employees off on the 4th of July over there.
Yeah.
It's going to be all hands on deck.
Oh, yeah.
And I know, because I've camped over there during one of the holidays. I don't remember which one it was, 4th of July, but I had to run outside the park, and getting back in, it was a nightmare because they line up, and it's just 4th of July. It's getting out and having fun. And of course, a lot of folks are going to be going camping. And if you are a camper who are planning on a 4th of July trip, first of all, you got something in your favor already. Number one, 4th of July falls on a Thursday. A lot of people are going to take an extended holiday, which means they're going to take off Friday as well. I mean, they're going to have a Saturday and a Sunday, and in some cases, maybe even take it off on a Monday. So, you got 4 or 5 days of great holiday camping there ahead of you. And if you haven't already made your reservations to a lot of popular destinations, you're probably out of luck, and you may have to go a little further out to find a reservation somewhere. But if you are going to be going away and you are planning to have your kids and your pets along, one of the things that I think, Daniel, are so very important, a lot of people don't know this, your dogs, your cats, your loved ones, just like, anyone else that you have as a member of your family. And our pets. We've got my Sadie here in the studio with us right now, your buddy.
Yeah,
and she's being very quiet. She is laying under the console desk, and she's not growling or barking at you. So.
Not yet.
But a lot of our pets are actually scared of all the pyrotechnics and all the loud explosions and everything. A lot of pets aren't used to that. And if you haven't already stopped to think how your pet may react if you're taking your pet along with you, you may want to rethink that. Some people will go ahead and leave their pets home just for that specific purpose because they know their pets are going to be scared half to death. And hopefully someone is going to be there to comfort them and take care of them. I know Sadie, for example, here. I adopted her from the shelter, so I don't know what her history was before I actually adopted her. I do know for a fact that she is petrified of the fireworks.
Really?
She just cannot stand them. And in our neighborhood here, a couple years ago, they went ahead in Georgia and finally, got on board. They realized that, if you're not going to allow fireworks in the state, people are still going to drive to the border states and they're going to buy those fireworks. They're going to bring those fireworks back into the state illegally, and they're going to set them off. And it was going on so much. And the police were overwhelmed. There was just no way they could control it. So anyway, a long story short, a couple of years ago, they went ahead and passed a law where these big fireworks are permitted in the state of Georgia. The problem is people were setting them off all kind of hours of the day and night. I think they do have a midnight curfew on that. But the first loud bang that goes off, Sadie freaks out. She just shakes. I don't know if these thunder coats work for dogs. These kind that you buy at the pet store. I didn't invest in one, but I did have a talk with my vet already. And folks, if you plan on taking your pet away with you on vacation this 4th of July holiday, and you think or you even suspect that your pet is going to freak out over all the fireworks and all the pyrotechnics and everything that goes along with that, you might want to consult with your veterinarian to see if there is some medication that you can provide for your pet. The last time I had Sadie at the vet, I had a discussion with my vet about this particular issue here, and we did get her a prescription that she will get like about an hour before we suspect the first firework will go off, and it's going to keep her very relaxed. The last thing you need to do is be away somewhere on vacation have a big bang somewhere go off and your pet freak out and take off, break off its leash, take off, and you don't know where your pet is. That will be the most terrible thing that I could think could happen to you on vacation, next to somebody getting very seriously hurt, which, we don't want that either. But some pets will actually, take off and run away. And the last thing you need to be doing is being on vacation trying to locate your pet who has taken off and you don't know where your pet is. So keep this in mind, folks. If you plan on going somewhere where there's going to be fireworks, a firework display, and you have your pets with you. Danny, you don't take Fitz off, do you?
We took him to the state park the last time we went camping. I mean, there was no fireworks, but I don't know that much about it. I know they get freaked out, but I'm wondering because we crate our dog at night, and I'm wondering if the fact that they're in their space, their crate or whatever, if that helps them, feel safer or not. And another thing about the whole if your dog escapes or anything, I would always encourage people, if you're going to take your dog out camping and stuff, to get it chipped. I think that's a really smart idea because, I mean, not just fireworks, but you never know what's going to happen, and you want some hope if, God forbid, they run away or something happens to them, that there's some way that they could be found. So I always think that chipping your animal is a smart idea too.
Every one of our pets are microchipped.
Uh-huh.
And in fact, nowadays, most of the shelters, when you adopt your pet, the microchip comes with it.
That's good.
And I know it only costs us like $19 a year through a company called Home Again.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got an updated photo of her. We've got all of our information there. And heaven forbid anything would ever happen where she got away and someone picked her up. Hopefully it would take her to a nearby veterinarian and be able to get the pet microchipped and get her home with us. But, we don't want to think about things like that, but they do happen. We're just being overly precautious here. And I would highly recommend, my friends, if you are going camping this 4th of July holiday, leave the fireworks to the professionals. Don't go out there and be setting off fireworks on your own. Some campgrounds may have rules and regulations relating to this. I have no doubt in my mind, because I work in the news business, that the next couple days after the 4th of July holiday, we're going to be hearing about the hospital emergency rooms that were flooded with people playing with fireworks who didn't know what they were doing, weren't being safe, and they ended up being there. Some of these fireworks are very, very dangerous. In fact, our local fire department out here always puts on a display this time of the year just to educate people, just to show what can happen. And they use mannequins as an example. If you got one of these big M80s or one of these big, I don't know what they are, but if they end up going off in your hand, heaven forbid, Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
I know the purpose of fireworks. They're for our entertainment purposes. Some of them are very expensive. I would never buy any.
I mean, they're explosives. I mean,
Exactly. That's exactly what they are.
I was in the Navy. I was in the ordnance department, and I mean, basically, they're just like the different colors. It takes different colors. It takes different chemicals to make different colors to make fireworks. But I mean, they're explosives. I mean, they're controlled explosives. There's not really that much of a difference between a grenade and, like an M80 or whatever. It's just the way that it's set off or whatever. So, it is pretty scary.
The safest thing to do, and there are some campers like you that have to bring your technology with you, that have to bring a television set.
Uh-huh.
I understand the President of the United States is putting on a monstrous 4th of July celebration for the American people. And if I don't get an opportunity to see it, I'm going to go ahead and record it. I'm looking forward to that. That's really the safest way, Daniel. If you
TV?
Watch it on TV, yes.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm speaking from an old guy's perspective right now. I remember when I was young, I had to be out there watching it with the family. We had to be sitting on a hillside somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, they have people sitting in the grocery store parking lots watching them over at Stone Mountain.
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of spots you can watch Stone Mountain from.
Yeah. But anyway, there's a lot of things going on for the 4th of July holiday. And again, remember, Daniel and I are going to be camping at Fort Yargo State Park the weekend of the 19th and 20th. You know, if you happen to be in that area, if you happen to be camping and you want to join us for the show, yeah, we're going to be bringing our portable gear with us. So we're going to be doing an episode from Fort Yargo State Park, and I'm really looking forward to that also. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Happy Camper Radio. Happy Camper Radio.
All right, Daniel, we have got a great campground, and you like lakeside camping, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, I do too. There is a beautiful campground if you like lakeside camping. Consider Waitsboro Campground. It is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. The Waitsboro Campground is located on beautiful Lake Cumberland in southern Kentucky. The campground offers 17 RV sites, all with electrical hookups, and 5 tent-only sites. 8 of Waitsboro's sites are on the waterfront, making them a prime location for weekend recreation. Amenities include flush toilets, showers, drinking waters, laundry facilities, and a dump station. A day-use area with a group picnic table and parking area is also available. Now, the campground overlooks the main body of the lake, offering sweeping scenic views. Then stands of mature hardwoods forest are on the site, offering a scenic view, pleasant shade, and wildlife habitat. This is an excellent campground if you want to go just to get away for the weekend, you know, and you don't want to be around a lot of people. You know, you want to be out there by the lake, take in the sun, take in all that the wilderness has to offer for you. Those are the type of campgrounds, Daniel, that I love camping in. And I'm so looking forward to this, our trip to Fort Yargo, because I think you did make reservations on the lakeside, did you?
I did.
Okay, yeah, and that's going to be fine by me. But, you know, if you're looking for a great campground in the state of Kentucky, you happen to be out this way, passing on through, make your reservations on recreation.gov. If you don't already have an account, you can sign up right there on their website. I'm going to have a link to it all week long on Happy Camper Radio. Just look for that little blue button in the upper right-hand corner where it says sign up. It makes your reservation process go so much smoother anytime you use a recreation.gov account for a recreation.gov campground. But if you're in the state of Kentucky, passing on through, interested in camping, consider Waitsboro Campground. It is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel on happycamperradio.com.
And if you have a campground you would like for us to feature on the program, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, and be sure to include a link to the campground website. Well, Daniel, I couldn't be more pleased to have you over here for our 200th episode. I'm glad we made it into the studio. We finally had a little bit of time between our two schedules, and I just woke up, believe it or not, right before we actually clicked the microphone on, so you can tell I'm a little more refreshed than you are. But, you know, hey, have yourself a great time. I know you've been off here a couple days, Daniel, and I'm looking for some time off myself, some serious time off. I'm actually looking for retirement. That's not coming too far down the road. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, folks, for our 200th episode of the Happy Camper Radio Show. And we're going to be talking with our good friend, Darren Kirby, in our next episode. He has a new book out called Tinfoil Recipes. Stick around for that. Remember, friends, every pet deserves a loving home. Do exactly like I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. You can find us online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker. Add us to circles on Google+, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, no doubt about it. Daniel's a happy camper. Woohoo! And you hang around with us long enough, friends, we'll make a happy camper out of you. Thanks for joining us today. You're listening to Happy Camper Radio.